question of interpretation.
Yeah.
And you know, these I think the readings help you unblock yourself and really release your potential rather than constraining you.
Yes, because we do talk about that quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's how to open up, and so often we think, well, I'm not really, you know, I can tell that I can do a certain thing or whatever, but I don't know quite how to do it. But I can see where a reading might really encourage that.
Yeah, yeah. I think of it as being sort of like a, you know, no one's born a winemaker or a wine connoisseur. They develop that because that's their focus.
Sure.
And the same with the cards with me. Seeing the cards, I got more and more involved, and you know, whatever was there opened up a bit more.
So when you give a reading, what is your great satisfaction, or what do you get out of actually giving it? Because I want to ask you that, because you seem so full of joy.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I get a satisfaction because I feel as if I'm making connection with somebody else to something deeper, whether it's spirits or angels or even their higher self doesn't really concern me. They're getting something deeper that they couldn't have gotten the answer for otherwise.
Yeah.
And also it tends to corroborate where they're going and their opportunities.
Okay, and so you get a lot of joy, and what do you feel, or what would you say comes to mind as far as what you're contributing? Because everyone individual contributes their gifts. I mean, that's part of what Tarot is opening that up.
Right.
And what do you think that you're contributing? I mean, I'm sure it's a lot.
I think I'm contributing my energy and my optimism and my sense of wanting to help people.
Okay.
And maybe my literature has helped, and I can express myself in a different way. You know, with a few Australianisms.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of nice. Kind of open up us a little bit from our upbringing and everything. Yeah. Yeah. Do they do a lot of Tarot in Australia?
No, Australia. Well, they weren't then. Yeah. But I was curious even in Australia. Okay. And it really, coming to Santa Barbara really kindled it.
Well, what is it that really made you curious about this, if I may ask?
About the Tarot?
Yeah, about the Tarot. Well, let's just go back even to your spiritual path, because obviously that has to be there.
I think the spiritual path was sort of fomenting. It was developing. And
from a young age,
particularly because I lived in so many different places, and it was such a, you know, for a young person, it was such a mysterious upbringing. And I wanted something to pull it all together and make it cohesive and understandable. And also, I had a sense that my life had a purpose, and so that every part of my sense had a purpose. And so, for me, I felt I could connect with it when I had a reading and I started giving readings. It just seemed to blend it together and give me a sense of the divine, of something bigger than just the here and now.
Wow. And you've done readings for a lot of different kind of people, right? I know sometimes people do readings and do things with celebrities, and they can't really say who they are, but you've really enjoyed it. And what would you say most people receive, if you know what it might be or how they feel when you've done the Tarot?
I think ultimately they get a sense of the beyond, of the divine, that there's more to life than just the visible, and they get a sense of presence. It feels like there's a shift in the energy, and I think they get that, and
they do,
and they enjoy it, and I try to. Often.
Sure. I bet they do.
Yeah, I enjoy it when they do.
That's wonderful. So now, if someone were to come to you, and you also do, let's just stop, you do phone readings.
Yes.
You do them in person.
Yes.
Okay. And if someone were to come to you for a full reading, what could they expect?
Well, often, I mean, just to I would often go to them as well, so they don't have to come to me. I'd be happy to do that. And they could expect that a lot of their questions would be answered. They'd get some guidance as to what direction to go on. They'd get a sense of what their strengths are, what areas of their life need attention to, where perhaps they're being blocked or constrained, and also the fact that they do have a potential to move into.
Yeah, wonderful. So it looks like a person, should they come back for more readings, or I think you said something about relying on it. We could actually rely on them for years, for a long time. It's like one thing.
Yeah, I think you can. I don't necessarily recommend it. It'd be great if people have that level. They buy their own deck and you know, start moving into it themselves. But I'd be happy to give readings as often as people want them to. And you do see a progression. Often, you know, what I say is that the cards come back and speak again. And if you see a card in one reading, then often it or its relatives come up in subsequent readings.
Oh, I see. That's
and it's like you see the card moving through different phases as different aspects are being attention. You know.
Now I know here that when everyone calls in, and you can get ready to start calling in pretty soon if you'd like to. Lloyd's going to just give, not just, but it's going to probably draw 1 or 2 or 3 cards and give a short little reading.
Yes.
And then if you want to talk further with him about it, you can always call. He's local. And of course the website's coming up, and you can get on his website and get his email from there as well. And do more. Because I know
on the contact page at the bottom of the website, you can put in your name and email address and send in the question. If I've done a reading for you tonight and you want more information, I'd be happy to fill out the answer a bit more than is possible tonight.
And so what kind of questions would you, we're going to do short little questions and answers if people want to start calling pretty soon, but what kind of questions can we take, like relationship?
Relationships, health, whatever. Preferably not too strict in the answer. Don't expect a clear yes or no. Often life is a bit more complicated than that. And,
so true.
And the cards reflect that.
Yes,
you know?
they do. So if it's a health or even relationship, as I said, even some spiritual. Once in a while,
the spiritual is very important.
Or work or moving or that kind of thing.
And also to remember that the symbols and the cards are something that really relates to the person asking the question. And I might not understand the connection because obviously I don't know the people asking the question.
So it will relate to them, but you'll give the answer, and then that's hard to do. I know as a medium, it's hard. Sometimes they give answers. What is that about? I said, don't worry, it's not for you, Martha, it's for them. It's amazing that works out. So show us a little bit, if you will, with your cards on the beautiful little place here, how you might do a shorter reading, and then
a shorter reading
tonight. I don't know how many you would do.
Well, what I was going to do tonight, because I think one card is too abrupt. And so there's what's called the core card and the crossing card. So we're going to have 2 cards, and I was going to lay them. They would normally be like so.
Hold that,
The upper card would be the core card, and this is the crossing card, which either complements or is in opposition or works with it. So I will just lay them down like that.
Upside down.
And then this card would be on the side.
All right.
And I have
core and crossing.
Core and crossing.
And the core again?
The core is like what's really at the heart of the answer.
See. And the crossing?
And the crossing card either complements or